Hi, I'm Jo Hamer, the owner of the Curvatures Boutique. In our last video, we was looking at rituals and how implementing a new way of life can impact the way you feel and create a better life. The right clothes, for example, can make you feel powerful and confident, which can enhance the energy that you are emitting. Or configuring your dream car and taking it for a test drive can create a lasting feeling that in turn draws it to your path. So, to keep the momentum going, in this video, we are going to look at your reality and its possibilities. Now, you've heard me in previous videos talk about energy and how we emit energy into the universe and how everything is connected. But what if I said that everything that is, that was, or will ever be exists at once? What if I said there are infinite possibilities at every point in time and a parallel reality exists for each possibility? Would you think I was nuts, or would you want to know more? If you think about it, we wake up to the same memory of experience and reaffirm the same idea of the future. And we do this over and over again. Let's do an example. You have a big argument with your boyfriend last night, and you both don't talk to one another. For the rest of the evening, you are reaffirming that you argued and that you're angry. So it continues. You go to bed, not talking, and forget for a moment because you are sleeping what had happened the evening before. Your alarm goes off and you wait to see him sleeping next to you, and your memory is jogged back to the argument you had, and you become angry at him again. For that morning, you are repeating the pattern and reaffirming the memory, so it continues. And it will only continue until one of you breaks the pattern and speaks to one another, which then changes the reality and changes the future. This pattern, this reaffirming of the memory, also applies to your financial situation, your work life, friendships, families, in fact, every part of your life. Sometimes you are just reaffirming older memories, memories from when you was a child, a teenager, or an adult. So let's take it back to the example of the argument. So if you think of what I said before this example, there are infinite possibilities and that there is a reality for each possibility, which means technically a reality exists if you decided to continue to ignore each other. A reality would exist for if you decided to have a further argument or split up or start fighting. A reality would exist if you both decided to burst into laughter or begin flirting with one another. Or, like I said, he bought you a cup of tea in bed or something positive. It could also be an apology as well. So, the reality exists for each and every one of those. And in that split second, in that moment, your memory of the argument, you chose the reality to wake up and still be angry with him. But what if you had woken and not remembered the argument, or pretended not to be angry, or like I said, he bought you a cup of tea in bed? The outcome would have been different. So you would have chosen a different outcome because that would have matched the reality of who you are in that moment and how you are behaving in that moment. Sound crazy? But it's true. It's like being at a crossroads and making a decision on which way to travel. To transform our lives, we have to therefore change our thinking, our feelings, and our actions, because that will then trick the subconscious mind and create a new paradigm. So think of your life as a movie that is projected on a big screen. Over our lives, we are conditioned, we're taught, we're trained, however you want to word it, to project onto the screen what comes next naturally. An argument is followed by silent treatment. This is known as the law of expectation. It is our logic that determines what comes next, what keeps us safe, what risks to avoid. But the logic does not always get it right. Sometimes it tricks you. What if I told you that inside all of you there is a magician, and it is the magician that we need to take charge of what goes on that screen? Bypass logic at times and create magic with your imagination and consider new possibilities to your outcome. What if I also told you that your reality is not one continuous flow from day to day? Crazy? Is this a concept that you can grasp? Let's break it down. Back at the beginning of these videos, we talked about energy, how you are energy, and how everything around you is energy. This also means your reality is energy, and energy vibrates. The faster it vibrates, the more solid the appearance, which is why a cup is solid, a rock is solid. But if you slowed it right down and looked closer, you would see that in fact it flickers, that in a split second it turns on and off. It's crazy to consider this as our brain is interpreting a cup to be solid, because we just can't grasp the concept of a cup being energy, and we can't see this flickering. It's easier and more logical to assume that this is not the case. We can't see it, so it can't be real. But you know, oxygen exists and we survive because we breathe it in, but you can't see it. If you can listen to this and consider the possibility that in fact everything is energy, then it is possible that you can consider that everything that is, was, and will be can exist at once. Forget the logic and the reasoning, as this is an illusion. Everything that is, your present, everything that was, your past, and everything that will be, your future, exists at once. This means that all the possible outcomes exist at once too. To go even further against logic, there are infinite possibilities for what will happen next. If we slowed everything down so we could see the switching on and off of your reality, you would also see that there are gaps in your reality. When it stops, there is a gap, then it starts again, then it stops, and there's another gap. So you can see that your reality is not one continuous flow. Within that split second, a new possibility is added based upon your thoughts and feelings. Back to our example, you wake and you're still angry from the argument. Reality switches off. Reality switches on. The boyfriend brings you a cup of tea in bed. Reality switches off. Reality switches on. I smile and apologise for the things that were said. Different outcome, different reality. But if the tea wasn't made, the possibility would have been different. So every time the energy switches on and off, you are creating different realities. You chose the tea instead of the coffee. You chose the steak instead of the chicken. You chose the grey paint instead of the blue paint. You chose a dog instead of a cat. Take it to another level. From having the dog, infinite possibilities are where you go for walks, who you see on walks, the times you go for walks, your health from walking. You can see by one decision, a whole new branch of the tree is formed. In order to create a better life, those thoughts, those feelings, those actions need to match the life that you want. So let's put it in context. If reality is an illusion, we need to trick our subconscious with a new reality, one where all the thoughts, feelings, and actions match your dream life. So you could wear a suit to work instead of jeans and a casual top. You could apply makeup instead of not bothering. You could wear Chanel perfume instead of a cheap body spray. You could Plan how to decorate your dream home. Window shop for your dream home. Window shop for all your interior accessories. You could meditate and use your imagination to play your dream life in your mind and connect the feelings with it instead of focusing on the lack, all the things you don't have. You could apply for the job instead of feeling powerless. The list really could go on, but you can see how life now becomes so much more fun. Who will I be today? You can map out a new existence. It is just so exciting. As Einstein once said, reality is an illusion, albeit a very persistent one. You have just got to break the logic and create the magic instead. Think about this. If everything that is, was, and will be exists at once, then your dream life is already here. It already exists. It's not over there in the future, because the future technically doesn't exist down the line. It is here. It's now. The future is made by humans, and so is time. Your task in life is to learn to accept this notion and become one with it. See the life you have like a video game. Let's say you play Call of Duty. You start the game and you take 10 steps forward and decide to turn left. You meet no enemies. But if you took 10 steps forward and turned right, instead you could have met 3 enemies and been shot. However, the computer has all the possibilities of what action you could take already mapped out. This is the same for your reality. It's the same for your life. All the possibilities are mapped out, pre-programmed within you. You just have to connect with the ones you want with your thoughts, feelings, and actions. Oh, and beliefs. You have to believe all of this is possible. So what can we do to change our reality? Recognise that we are conditioned. We are creating our own reality by our thoughts, feelings, and actions. How many of you can remember as a child Christmas being magical because of Father Christmas? We all believed in him at some point in our lives because we were conditioned to believe it. But as we grew older, we learnt that he was not real, and we started to lose the magic of Christmas. We learnt that he doesn't appear on Christmas Eve to deliver presents. It's our parents who have bought and wrapped the gifts ready to place under the tree on Christmas Eve. It's quite a cruel trick we play, and it causes us to doubt that magic is possible. So here is your first possible limiting belief. Magic does not exist. So all of this manifesting stuff is rubbish and doesn't work and won't work, and it's all in my imagination. People will laugh at me and think me childish if I believed in something like this. Does that make sense? So let's just pause here for a moment to relive the magic. As a child, how convinced were you that Father Christmas was real? You may have asked all the questions of, is he real? And our parents and teachers would all deny this concept and lie to us, telling that he is real. So we believed it even more. We were given the facts, and our conscious mind determined that these facts were to be accepted and transferred the information to the subconscious mind. It was real. The golden child archetype existed here, with the playfulness and the creativity of it all. We watched Christmas movies and even went to see him at the grottos. He was real. No doubt, unwavering faith that he was real. This is precisely what you have to do with your reality. As an innocent child, we had no reason to doubt the magic of Christmas. It was reinforced by those in authority. If you need to confide in a trusted friend or member of the family about this and tell them your dream life, they can also help you to reinforce your beliefs. If you need to watch more suitable programs, then sign up for Gaia.com and step away from the negative influence of the TV, the news, films, etc. Read books of successful people, or manifesting, or creating wealth, because what you are in fact doing here is changing the information that you are feeding your conscious mind. We are taught to be logical and realistic, so you now have to go beyond logic and dare to dream. Who do you want to be? What do you want to do? What do you really want to have? By getting these answers down on paper, you can then see and keep referring back to what it is that you truly want. You are setting your intention to the universe that this is what I want. Write it in the present tense. I am so grateful for living my dream life because I show gratitude for having, and so on. If you now know that what is, was, and will be all exist at once, then you know that life that you desire is already here. You just need to believe it is here and believe it's possible to have. Bring the magic back and become one with it. Assume you are already that person with that life. What rituals can you introduce to make you feel like you are already living that life? Get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And you know what? It's okay to become a little delusional with it. Yes, people may think you are nuts, but are you going to let them stop you from doing this? Absolutely not. Believe this is who you are now. Feel that excitement, that joy, that heart flutter of happiness. Assume you are already that, because the law of assumption is the law of attraction. Remember that if you think and behave like you are already that person, you will move to that possibility because you are matching that energy. You have to get into that energy in everything you do, because then you are extending that energy into the universe. At first, you may not see anything happen, and this is where many people fail, because they see no instant results and they give up. Could you imagine what your life would be like if everything you thought and felt came into fruition instantly? Oh my God. It could be weeks or even months for the alignment. So although nothing may happen at first, you may feel different. So keep at it. Stay with this energy and desire, because all of a sudden you will notice new ideas come into you. You may recognize coincidences or synchronicities, and then you may notice things changing, and then manifesting will happen. This is the magic. This is the magical yumminess of manifesting your dreams. You have to do whatever it takes to walk this journey. There is no negotiating, no settling for less. I'm Jo Hamer, the owner of the Curvatures Boutique, and I hope this video has got you excited and raised your energy. I hope it has helped you to see that reality is an illusion, and that everything that is, was, and will be already exists, and that you can have the life you desire and deserve. Thank you for watching my video, and be sure to tune in for our next video, where we will be delving more into the self and what action we need to take to align ourselves with our desires.